Hey everyone, welcome back. Some things I'm going to do today. I didn't like the way this ran with that exhaust yesterday. I'm going to chuck that one back on and test the bike, see if it rides better. If it rides better, it's staying on and that's it. I'm not messing around anymore with it. If it rides better, I'm going to swap the front wheel and the rear wheel so that this bike is just ready to go. And it's all good. So someone gets a nice bike. So that's the plan today. So the first thing I suggest anyone does when messing with exhaust, get some WD in as much as you can. These things can be a right pain, and if they snap, you're screwed. So WD first, make sure there's no weld on it. Hey, Alex? And obviously do the same with the second bike or the donor exhaust. Again, make sure they're not too bad. These studs don't look great, they could easily round off, and that's kind of not what you want. If the donor bike, this one, did round off, I would personally just chop these, because I just want this exhaust. So, but obviously penetrating spray, let it sit for a little while and give it a shot. So that's the first thing I'm doing today. Jake gave me strict instructions not to touch his bike, so obviously I'm going to touch his bike. I'd like to put some power to this today, just to see if power goes through it, even if the display comes on. I'm pretty sure Jake doesn't watch my channel anyway, so even if I put some power to his bike, he wouldn't even know. And if it powers up, I'd like to just slip a little bit of fuel in there, just for, you know, safety sake, and make sure it's all safe. And then I'd like to press the start button just to check that it works. And then if we heard any noises coming out of the original exhaust, we'd have to check that they were, you know, good, safe noises. So yeah, I may have a little play with that against Jake's wishes. I'm going to get on with this. I'm not going to film it, it's boring. That exhaust is coming off, that exhaust is coming off, that one's going on there, that one's not. Simple as that. But the main thing here is this bike wasn't running very well with that exhaust. You know what I should have done yesterday, which was really silly not to? I should have taken it for another test run, because the last time I test run the bike, it ran great. I should have test ran it yesterday morning, and that would have let me know if it needed, say, another carb clean or anything, rather than the exhaust being the problem. I'm assuming the exhaust is the problem, so I'm going to get on with that for now. So the bolts on the good bike were all fine, they come off well. The bolts on the original good bike, which is now the bad bike, 2 of them came off and 2 of them have rounded, which is exactly what I thought. It's these middle 2 here, see that one there on the left, that one on the right. I can't get an Allen key in to be able to break it loose, so now you're looking at drilling, cutting, smashing things in. All you want to do is break them off now, because we're not fussed about them. We just want to have the pipe in good order, so that's the next step, and that can normally take a while. So this is the original ignition for the gsxr. I've just kind of prepped all the wires for kind of what would be hot wiring, I guess. The plug goes in there like normal. We add power to the battery, and then we see what wires turn it on, and that will tell us if the gsxr even holds power at this point. So I think I might just do that. And again, Jake doesn't watch my videos, so he won't even know. So, secret Jake project. I've moved over here because I was making a lot of noise over there, and it's only like 5 to 10 in the morning. I've wired the orange together and the red together. I don't know if that's right or not. I genuinely don't know. Bikes will have fuse boxes, so if something goes wrong, a fuse will blow. I don't know where it is, can't get to it, can't find the main fuse. so it's going to be kind of potluck, but I will connect the system up. So we've got earth, and positive is down here somewhere, there it is. Sometimes there's extra earths and positives, you have to keep an eye out for them. At this stage I don't think there is. It's got a fair amount of charge. This is the scary part, we need to work out now what 2 does what without killing ourselves. Orange and red, nothing. Nothing. So we've tried that. Orange and brown. Problem is there'll be an earth in here as well. Nothing. Nothing. Let's try. This is the scary part for me. This is more likely to be the earth. Nothing. Ooh. Right. So I think something blue there. That would have been the fuse. So now I could pretty much put all of these together, I think, and nothing would happen because we've blown the main starting fuse. Just, yeah, okay. So from here you got to find the fuse box. I've got plenty fuses, and then you've got to keep trying this system to see what one works. So let me have a quick look at the fuses. So I took the seats and the rear fairing off. Don't worry, Jake won't even notice. He wanted that anyway. He couldn't do it because he's not good enough. Here's the main fuse there. There you go, look, so that blew. I've got plenty of them, I'll get some spares. And then it is just trial and error. You just have to keep going round and doing that and blowing fuses and going back and blowing fuses. So I'll let you know if there's any progress at all. So new fuse in. I'll see if I can get the screen for you. There you go. You might see lights. I mean, I doubt it. So far it's not looking good. It's going to be a combination, I think. Right, so the black and red blew the fuse last time. Let's try black and orange. Black and grey. Black and brown. So I'm going to try kind of all individuals at this stage. Brown and grey. Brown and orange. Brown and red. So that's done. Grey and red. Grey and orange. So that's done, and then them two don't. Oh! Ooh! Guys, we've got lights on the dash, look! Can you see it over at the far side? Oh man, should we press the start button? Nothing. It could have a side stand switch. Let me just, I'm gonna just, nuts not to get this far, and you know. Could have a clutch switch. Nope. Side stand switch. Nope, both. Ooh. Okay, so it's orange and red. So for Jake's safety, we should throw some fuel in here. I should bring over the Bandit because it's stronger. This isn't fully charged, and we should spin this thing over. That will loosen up the pistons. Although, hang on a minute, we struggled. Remember, the gearbox is very weird. In fact, it's rock solid. We struggled. Let me see if I can get neutral. So orange and red. Apparently we're in neutral. Okay, whatever. Alright, I'll tip some fuel into, not into there, that goes into the engine, into, where is the fuel line? I'll find the fuel line. Jake probably hid it to stop me doing this. I'm going to chuck some fuel in and we're going to turn this over. So, Jake did take the fuel pipe off, which I think is hilarious. Whether that was to stop me messing or not, I don't know. I've put in this fuel pipe here. I will chuck in some fuel and I'm going to turn the bike over. I hope for Jake's sake it starts. I do want to hear it start. I'm not messing with it. I'm not putting it in gear. I'm not going to rev it too much. The oil's fine in there, but it will need new oil. It will need a full service. But the most important part of a project when you buy it is, does it have a good engine? And you just never know. These bikes are advertised. This was £500. The guy would not have to feel bad because it's worth more in parts. But for us, we want a nice bike on the road. So I'm going to tip some fuel in and we're just going to see for now. It's proper high hopes. Shouldn't stop us hearing the engine. Upright, clutch. Ooh. My concern here is the compression. Let me fire mine up, get a bit more power into it. So I don't know if these use a particularly big or powerful battery. At the moment though, it's not doing anything really. I may go and get my car. Look. The problem here is, you know, is the engine seized basically. The gearbox was rock solid, is rock solid. We're assuming that's the chain. Could the chain? No, it's in neutral. I think I need to get that chain off. I'm gonna have to smash that chain off to see what's going on, see if the gearbox frees up. At the moment, this is rock solid. Look. And I think it's because of that rock solid chain. putting pressure on it. That could also be putting pressure on the engine if it thinks it's in neutral, but it's not really, if that makes sense. So instead of trying to start, it's trying to put power to the wheel. It's trying to pull everything, because this is a good normal motorcycle engine battery, and it's, you know, similar year and 600cc, so there should be no issues there. I will get the bigger battery. I will connect it to my car if needed, but for now I'm going to smash this chain off. He's getting a new one anyway, so, and we will, let's see if that frees up this. Just want to show you again, look, it's rock solid. And I don't know if it even changes gear or what. And yeah, some of it might be down to kind of greasing and stuff, but I think it's this chain having seized on and it's putting pressure on it. So let me try and take some of that pressure off. Jake is actually going to kill me. Don't get stuck. So Jake, your bike chain just fell off today, just randomly, completely crumbled. It was in such bad nick. Right, I doubt that's freed up the gearbox automatically. Nah, it's still pretty solid there. Saying that, let me see if I can get it in or out of gear. No, I'm going to bring the car up and put a big old battery on it and see if we can get see if we can loosen it all up. So this is our setup, car battery. The bigger battery may help turn it over. It might have a particularly powerful battery originally, you know, and the bandage just doesn't cut it. Potentially, if it doesn't free itself up a little bit, then we're looking at soft seizure, or it's not a full seizure because it's turning, soft seizure. I believe Jake did put some two-stroke down the cylinders yesterday, so that should help free it up. At the moment it's not looking good though. So we appear to be in gear. Now we're in neutral. A bit more fuel maybe because the carbs... No, let's hear the compression. That's a little bit better. That's probably helping free it up. If you put the two-stroke down, I'm not sure he did. You can put a bit of two-stroke, you can put a bit of diesel. Diesel's good. And also at the moment the carbs are leaking, so I'll make sure there's a bit more in there. The other thing we don't know is any of the spare wires. There could be kind of immobilizers. So I'll try again. I'm reluctant to switch the car on, but I probably should. No, I won't. so that's starting to sound better, guys. From here, a touch of something combustible, just to see if we can get something. Like I said, brake cleaner, combustible, we'll just see. Otherwise we're just clearing up the engine a little bit anyway. To be fair, guys, that engine sounds good, normal. From a compression point of view, I feel like it's not sparking. That I could be wrong there. It could be sparking. I'll just get some choke on. Oh, we had choke on. Let's get some choke on. Go a little bit more. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm going to strap the clutch lever down. It's a bit of a pain having to hold that in. And see if I can get some more fuel in, because it is coming out. And just see if we can get something. So I've got spare hands now, a bit more fuel. I'm pretty dead set at this stage that isn't sparking, because we're spraying stuff in the carbs straight into the engine and it's not doing anything. So next thing to check on this bike would be spark. So don't bother popping the original plug out, just get a spare plug, pop each one of the coils and just check for spark there. I doubt this is sparking. And that would be something to do with the wiring, maybe. I've wired them all together now except the earth. However, one of these spares might have to be with the earth to get spark. So we need to look at stuff like that, side stand, kill switch, and any wiring. There's wiring down here, there's a plug there. There's just bits and pieces loose and pulled out at the moment that could be killing spark. But let's have a quick look. I'm not sure I can get you guys close enough. In fact, I can. We'll just. Can you see the spark plug? Yeah, it's right there. All right, let's hook back up. Oh. Waiting on someone, mate. Oh, right. So it must. Well, they pressed your buzzer as well, didn't they? So as you can see there is no spark. Let me lift the side stand switch and try again. Yeah, we've got no spark at all. Let me have a little flick over the wiring. It's this, I mean, I've just seen this one and that, they don't go together, so there might be bits and pieces here that need to connect up. I'll have a quick look at the wiring and we'll come back. Otherwise I think the earth might need to go to one of these spares here, because they don't change anything. So we'll just have a bit of a look at that. So what I've done is I've cleaned a lot of the contacts, so a lot of the wiring loom, using contact cleaner. Only one wire looked a bit iffy, and it was a red and green wire, this one here, which to be fair could be going to the side stand switch. So if that wasn't working or connecting properly, that could stop spark. But I don't know at this stage if spark's back or not. There's no spark on that, on number one. My kind of last ditch effort is that the ignition system has a weird wiring system. Like instead of the two reds being together, it might not be that. It might be that one of the reds goes to the oranges, one of the reds goes to the brown, and so on and so on. The easiest thing to do here would be to get the new switch and chuck it on and see if that does anything, but at this stage there's no spark at all on any of the coil, so I don't know where you go from there. I don't even know where the coils are. I can't see any. I don't know if they've been disconnected. It's not the kind of bike. I've never worked on a Suzuki gsxr. I don't know how this coil system works. So it goes from here down to here, down back up to here, and then it goes straight into the CDI. So maybe it doesn't use a kind of traditional older coil. I didn't do that plug. I'll have a little look just in case. But yeah, there's no spark. It could also be a CDI issue or a regulator issue. Could obviously be a stator issue if it's using one. I don't know if they do. Yeah, and it could be a earth issue as well as an wiring issue. So at this stage, I'm at a loss. I might give Jake a call and see if he knows if he has an ignition. If he has an ignition set, then it'd be worth me popping around and grabbing it and giving it a shot out of curiosity. I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Jake won't mind, I don't think, that I've done some work. I'm really glad that the cylinders freed up, actually, so it turns over easily enough now, which is great. That means the engine seems okay, and there seems to be a fair amount of compression there. Appears to be. We haven't done a test. I think the carbs will need a rebuild set. Jake may even just have them at home, otherwise he's going to have to get some in. But their fuel was definitely spilling out, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. But obviously the main thing here is that it didn't have spark, and we've got to work out what's going on there. It really could be as simple as the ignition having a weird setup. It could be one red to one orange, and then add in a brown. It could be a weird combination setup thing, and I've tried a few, but you'd be there all day trying all them combinations, and you'd blow fuses left, right and centre. So for now, the compression's good, the chain is off, it sounds healthy enough, but there's no spark. So that's it for me. If Jake can get me the ignition, or if I can grab the ignition today from his, I can try that. I don't think he wants that, but I could give that a shot. Otherwise, I'm going to chuck all these spare parts in the garage. I'll keep the tank on so the cylinders stay dry, and Jake will continue from there, I guess. I'm going to go back to the GS because I need to do more drilling and sort out the exhausts. So it's a bit of a pain at the moment. That one is solid and it's very hard to get the middle two studs out. Someone said to me, can you get a halfway house with this? And what I didn't notice was there's a cap there at the end that you can take out. So you can get a halfway. So I'm going to take that end piece out there. That way it's not too restrictive and it's not too free-flowing. And I'm going to see if that makes a difference. That would save me so much hassle if it did. So you see we've now got the baffle in, but without the blocking seal, so a bit more flow. This absolutely should be the kind of halfway house. The bike should run well. I'm going to warm it up and we'll give it a shot. Okay, so I warmed the bike up. We haven't heard this version yet, so it's in between. It's not fully restricted, it's not fully unrestricted, so it's in the middle. This should really work well. I see no reason why it won't. give it a couple of minutes. These bikes are known for taking a while to warm up. Don't worry about the exhaust, that's just where I use WD on the bolts. I'm going to cut the camera, give it a good few minutes to warm up, and then I'll take it for a spin. It sounds okay. The choke is on at the moment. It should not like the choke being on soon. If it does like the choke being on soon, then that means we need to up jet. But it shouldn't be happy with the choke on once it's warm. So at the moment it's still quite happy with the choke on, which is not a good sign. Let me give it a spin. Okay, so what I've learned is that it's happy at quarter throttle and it's happy at full throttle. So main jet's fine, idle jet's fine. It will probably need the needle raising a touch. I'm not sure how you do that. I can adjust needles that have clips on them, but I don't use shims. I'm not sure how to do that. So I might pop one out anyway, have a little look. The bike runs really well. If I can get it smoother, it's just so it's middle throttle, it's half throttle, but third and full, it's great. So I'm going to have a little Google and see if they agree with me that it's the needle, and go from there. If you remember last week, I put in the original air filter, which is more restrictive, and it had a high flow in there. Especially as I've changed the exhaust now, I'm going to throw the high flow back in, see if that makes a difference to mid-range. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to look at the needles in there and raise them a little bit to allow more fuel out at half throttle. So let me throw that in and see if it makes a difference. So the high flow's in there. Without load, it feels better already, but I'll have to take it out. think that's probably a little bit worse. I'm going to try no filter out of curiosity. So even though I've done all the work on the fuel line, when I sit it, there is still kind of a kink in it. So I'm gonna, at the moment I'm running it down here and round there. I'm gonna pull it up here and see if I can. The problem is this tap sits quite low, it sits kind of here, so I need the most direct route, but this fuel line is very flimsy. I might need to order a decent one that's thicker, because I think it's possibly starving itself slightly. I don't think that's the actual issue, because at full throttle it's kind of managing, it's fine, but that needs to be a long-term fix anyway. It needs to have a good fuel line that's thick and solid and runs well, and that one's compressing, so that's not good. So I've added a new fuel line, which was the original fuel line anyway. I have sorry, I'm just listening, making sure it's getting fuel. Yes, original fuel line, and I've put the old filter in, so the more restricted original one. And I don't know, I mean, I'll show you the throttle. At a third it seems okay. Watch the revs. Okay. At full it'll shoot up, watch. And then at half, oh, well, maybe it's warming up. A minute ago it wasn't too happy with half. Let me take it out for a spin. We don't know until we've tried. It might have been starving itself off fuel because of the way the leads were, the lines. A little bit better, same thing though, half throttle is a bit boggy. Definitely need to try shimming the needles, which I don't actually know how to do. So the bike's been sitting, you know, 6, 7, 8 minutes now. What bothers me is when I put the choke on, the bike's happy. Now a good running bike will be unhappy when it's warm with the choke on. It should be bogging out. So I think I'm going to need a slightly bigger jet. Not that I know what size the jet is. I'm going to check. I'll check in here actually. Slightly bigger jet, and I'm going to have to shim the needle up a touch for the mid-range grunt. It's actually a very, very fast bike for 500, and I know that because first third of the throttle's working and top end's working. It's just that middle section. So you know, it's a very fast bike. But yeah, but it needs to be running smoothly. So I'm going to let it sit another few minutes. I'm going to take it out again after, just out of curiosity, just if it is a warming up issue. It shouldn't be. And I'm going to pop one of these floats off to see what size the jets are anyway. Someone said online the jets are 2 different sizes, one for the inside, one for the out. I'm going to check them both, see how it is, and I'll up jet by 2 out of curiosity if Jake has the jets. So Jake, I need your help here, mate. These jets are 115s, but they are much bigger than the jets I've already got from you and that I normally use. It's this Carb, Makuni, and they're big old jets. I need 117s. Let me know if you've got them, mate. And yeah, I'm going to pop the tops off and see the shim situation as well. So I've gone one clip up on the needle that's in the carb at the moment. That will add more fuel at mid-range. More fuel might not be the fix, it might need less fuel, but it was on a medium setting, so a bit more fuel makes sense, but again we're not sure, so I'm doing that on both. One clip down or it being shimmed up, and we'll give that a shot. I'll put these back together and get it all sorted. So guys, shimmed up, extra fuel at half throttle. Let's see if that's made a difference. Still a bit boggy, mid-range. For my own, for myself to remember what to do next week, I'm going to try shimming it up one more, so absolutely max it out fuel-wise at the middle range. Then I'm going to go to a 2. So I'm going to go back up, shim it down, and go to 2 clips down. To see if that helps. Also, Jake, I believe, has some 117.5s. I'll throw them in bigger jets just while we're messing around with it all next week. So I'll try the shimming first next week, and then I'll try the then I'll try the jets. I like the sound of the bike. I don't think it's too loud. I don't think it's too obnoxious. Kind of gives it a nice little noise actually, and it's a fast bike. It just needs to be smooth at the middle range of the revs. Okay, that's it for today. I haven't achieved loads this weekend, if I'm being honest, because well, we're doing all right. I would have loved to have been able to got that exhaust off today to see if the mid-range was normal when the restriction was different. I might order some specialist drill bits and see if I can get these off and do that swap next week. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. On Friday I'm picking the winner of the Benelli Keyway, so someone's going to get that. Tough job picking, but hopefully everyone feels good for the person who does get it.